Recently, the online media have blown up with the news headlines which about 2 days ago entitled Japan warned South Korea over a statue that appearing to show Shinzo Abe bowing to comfort women. The issue is that the newly built statues in South Korea Botanic Garden had outraged Japan's officials in Tokyo as it symbolized the victims of sex slavery during the occupation of Japan in the World War II. What was interesting is that the Japan officials claimed the man's statue was in the position of bowing to the statues of women, resembling the Prime Minister Shinzo Abe apologizing comfort women. Chief Cabinet Secretary Yoshihide Suga has seen the news and he said that if the news in the social media is true, this could be a major collapse impact between Japan and South Korea. Therefore, to clear out the situation, Mr. Kim, the owner of the garden, came to help to explain the issue. The statues are mainly an idea from Mr. Kim Chang-ryul, and he is also the owner of the Korea Botanic Garden in Pyeongchang, the location where the statues were built. Mr. Kim then explained that the male statue is not particularly refers to Mr. Abe, but it could be anyone else. As said by Mr. Kim, the man could be Abe and also couldn't be Abe. And he added that the man statue represents anyone in a position of taking responsibility and sincerely requests for apologize to the victims of the slavery in present and in the future. The statue could be anyone. It could be that girl's father, her brothers, or anyone else to show the great apology to fulfill human rights common needs. Furthermore, the criticism on that statue not only comes from the Japanese but also comes from the South Koreans itself, who proclaim that such thing is very unnecessary provocative on social media, which obviously far from what Mr. Kim explained. Mr. Kim then defended that statue by mentioning it reflects what he wished for the countries to resolve their conflict over history. Besides, in accordance with the sex slavery issue, Mr. Abe also demanded South Korea to remove other statues in other sites, and one of them is the one that is located in front of Japan's embassy in South Korea, where, in 2015, South Korea rejects Abe's demand to remove sex slave statue, which is the bronze statue of a young girl in Korean traditional attire that was set up by South Korean civic group in front of the Japanese embassy in Seoul in 2011 to raise awareness of the issue Japan's sexual enslavement of Korean women during World War II. Unfortunately, the reports were made by the Japanese media was extremely wrong, and the foreign minister of South Korea rejected the report and expressed disappointment regarding that issue. And there are also other similar negotiations that happened and took place during the governance of Park Geun-hye. This is not the first time Japan has requested to remove the statue. Moreover, the newly elected South Korea President Moon Jae-in confirmed that the negotiations needs to start over as the past was not enacted at his current stage. Now, we're moving on to historical brief explanation on the issue of sex slavery among Korean women. Generally, South Korea and Japan have a significant history during World War II. In 1910 to 1945, the Korean peninsula was colonized by Japan's military, and at that time, Asian women were forced to get into the frontline Japanese military brothels, all called as home for prostitutes, in order to provide sex to the Japanese armies. Approximately 200,000 women from Asia, and many of them were Korean women that became the victim of sex slave. The phrase "comfort woman" is the translation from Japanese word "yanfu", which indicates prostitute. According to the experience of the victims, young women were abducted from their own house in countries that were under Japanese imperialism. In most cases, they received a lot of promises from Japan's army. For example, they would get a nice job in factories or in restaurants. They are also made propaganda on promoting equity and sponsorship for higher education for them, as well as provides job for nursing at the outposts or Japanese army's bases. And after they are recruited, they will be thrown in prison in the comfort house, both inside their nations and abroad. Therefore, the comfort woman became important history for the South Korean people as memorial event and respecting the victims of the sex slavery over the times. Story of Kim Bok-dong had been one of the most important proofs of life as a comfort woman. This significant interview was possibly the last of her contribution to spread the story as one of comfort woman survivors, as she passed away on January 28, 2019. Apart from that, there's also a major event in 2017 where the rare footage of the sex slave appeared for the first time in online. This footage was a significant proof that shows clearly the condition and surroundings during the sexual slave among women around the 1940s.
Short 18-second video is of 7 Korean women sexually enslaved by the Japanese soldiers in Yunnan province, southwest of China around the end of World War II. It is the first ever video footage of Korean victims that has been found.
To conclude, now we understand that why Japan were deemed to criticize the new statues, as they presume that it's disrespectful to imply the man statue as Mr. Abe, despite their ego to sincerely apologize towards the comfort woman. Further information, the Korea Botanic Garden in Pyeongchang will be set to be open to the public starting this coming 10th of August. However, the head of the Botanic Garden, Mr. Kim, said that the opening ceremony of the Botanical Garden has been cancelled due to the current dispute that might crash up the event. Hi guys, thank you for watching my videos. Hope you like this video and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. Bye.